A good speech should be well researched and use supporting materials to back up the information you are providing. In this video, we look at best practices for citing sources in a speech. Specifically, we will examine when you should cite your sources and how you should cite your sources. There are many different types of supporting materials that you can use as sources for your speech. The most common include websites, newspapers, magazines, books, journals, government resources, and personal interviews. Anytime you use information taken from one of these sources, you should cite it. Doing so not only provides credit to the source, but also helps build your credibility by showing the level and depth of your research on the topic. If you cite strong sources, then you will have strong credibility. If you cite weak sources, then you will have weak credibility. Citing no sources will equate to no credibility. So, when you do your research, find strong sources and cite them when you use their information. For papers, you have always been taught that a source citation comes directly after the information it supports. But in a speech, it is the opposite. In a speech, the source citation should come before the information it supports. Here's an example.
Hemp can be used to make paper, which is more durable and has a longer life than paper from wood. According to the Earth Island Journal magazine in 1990, 1 acre of hemp is equivalent to 4.1 acres of trees over a 20-year period. The fibers that you can obtain from the stalk of the hemp plant are the longest, the strongest, and the most durable in the world.
Citing the source before the information in a speech allows the audience to easily connect that information with the source without having to think backwards. The other factor that is different about citing sources in a speech versus a paper is what information needs to be provided in the citation itself. In a paper, the in-text citation is short and designed to link to a works cited that provides a full source citation. The same is true for a speech. The in-speech citation is also short, with a complete listing of the source in the work cited. However, in a speech, your audience will not have a copy of your outline and works cited in front of them. Therefore, it is important for your in-speech citations to provide enough information for the audience to be able to make a determination about your source's credibility. There are two key factors necessary for a strong in-speech citation. First, identifying the source of the supporting material, and second, the date it was published or accessed. Depending on the type of supporting material you are using, the source can be a few different things, including where it was published, the organization that created it, the author, or even the person you spoke to if it was a personal interview. When identifying the source, you are communicating to your audience whom this information is coming from. The key is to provide whatever information you have about the source that best builds its credibility. The second key factor is the date. For most sources, the date will be when the information was published. But for some sources, especially websites, there may not be a clear publication date. In those circumstances, you should identify the date you accessed the information. Here are some examples to illustrate in-speech source citations that come before the information and highlight both the source and the date of the supporting material.
Bedbugs are also very elusive. It's hard to catch them. According to a 2012 study from the entomological journal called Psyche, bedbugs are sensitive to heat and carbon dioxide. And so since your body temperature decreases when you fall asleep, that's their cue. That's how they know to come and get you. They generally won't come out until they know you're asleep.
So first I'm going to discuss incarceration rates. Some statistics I found. The American Civil Liberties Union reported in 2018 that 1/3 of African American males will be incarcerated at some point in their lives, compared to 1 in 17 of white males.
This is a map of the United States. The red is high potential and high crime rate for purely human trafficking. According to the May 2014 edition of Gender Issues, the United States is now one of the top 8 destinations for human trafficking worldwide.
As you prepare your speech, remember, you want to use high credibility sources and cite those sources when you use their information. The in-speech source citation should come before the information and should highlight both the source of the information and the date the information was published or accessed.